You probably don't care what's on my or someone else's needles right now. But let me tell you something. Every project that I make from scratch, I never need using someone else's patterns. It's a huge lesson. And I've been knitting and crocheting for 40 years now. And every time I start a project, I learn a lesson. And today I would like to share some of the lessons that I've learned recently, and I promise it will save you time and money. So let's get started. The lesson number one here is do not, and I've learned it the hard way, do not go for an interesting design. Go for what fits into your wardrobe, what is you. What do I mean by that? We all have those beautiful designs in our heads. We all think, oh my God, I just came up with this sweater and I really like the idea and I want to make it, and then it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because it doesn't fit into your wardrobe. So the number one lesson that took me a while to understand is that try to fit what you are making into your wardrobe. I do not like knitting or crocheting just for the sake of it. I like to wear what I make. And here's this off-shoulder top. It's very, very easy. And you can make it totally if you're a beginner, if you know knit stitch, purl stitch, how to yarn over, how to knit two together, that's basically enough. And there's my friend who is a stylist, and she says, you know what, it's so versatile. I knew that I can wear it with some jeans or some pants in a sporty way, and she showed me so many other ways how to wear it. And yes, I do have a free pattern for this shirt and the video instruction on how to make this top. But back to the topic. You can wear it the casual way with comfortable sport shoes with a black backpack or other color backpack, of course, with sport accessories, is if the majority of your day you have to be comfortable. Also, you can add a jacket if at some point that open shoulder is a little inappropriate, or if the weather conditions tell you to add that jacket. Well, yeah, but also if you add a statement earrings, high heels, and a purse, all that stuff does elevate the entire look. So, yes, this top works in so many ways. Whenever I make a new sweater or a shirt or a top, I think twice. I need my lifestyle to lead me in terms of to tell me what to do, what to knit, what to crochet, what to complete, and what to wear. Another important lesson that I would like to share deals with the yarn. You see how awful this diagonal part of my shirt looks. Well, at first, you wouldn't even expect that effect from this yarn because it doesn't even look twisted. But if you take a closer look at a distance, you see that there is that twist that causes that diagonal skew. So what to do here? Well, first, and the most important tip here is to not use the stockinette stitch. Use lace stitch, any charts that have yarn overs, two togethers, that kind of stuff, because they do not hold the shape. And this is the case when you do not need the yarn to hold that shape. Number two here, I rewinded a couple of times the yarn to relax that twist. Well, again, I'm being honest with you. You would have to use the machine, but I didn't. I just did it with my hands, and it worked. And the next tip here is do not forget blocking and drying it horizontally. Of course, there are way many more ways how to avoid that diagonal skew. But you know, in this particular project, I used just 3 of these tips and they worked pretty well. And before I move on, I would like to thank a recent supporter of this channel. Well, I don't know if it's a real nickname or did the system sign this name. So the nickname is Someone. Thank you, Someone, for supporting this channel. And well, give me a minute to explain why that support, why your comments and shares mean so much to me. You know, this channel is about combination continental knitting style. Sometimes it's called grandma style, and sometimes does not it is not recognized as a real knitting style. Oh, it's grandma, it's wrong, it's convenient, but it's wrong. It's not this industry standard. There is this classic continental, there is this English way, and this is some kind of, I don't know, something different. But let me tell you something. If you read the comments under the video that explains the basic stitches of the style, there's so much support from people who either finally can knit or finally can knit without damaging your hands, because it's very effortless, it's very efficient, it requires as less movement as you can think of. So I'm here to promote this style. I'm here to explain that pretty much anything can be done in this style. Lace patterns, of course, open work patterns, of course, cables, of course, stockinette, well, of course. And honestly, I don't see this style as an alternative one. I see it as a real style that deserves support, that deserves a great community, that deserves people who need this way. Because this style is great. It's not secondary. It both holds the tradition, it transfers the traditions from older generations without, taking in consideration what the industry standards are. I don't really care about the industry standards. I care about convenient and comfortable knitting. The next project on my needles is this dark olive shirt. I generated it to give you kind of an idea of what I'm making, because the summer is still going on, and this one I would like to have in my summer wardrobe, because you can wear it as a underlayer, you can wear it with jeans, with linen shirts, and of course there will be a free tutorial on the stitch. And remember, every time I post or other creators post just a stitch, you remember that you can use that stitch in your own design. For example, you see a stitch, you immediately can think of a scarf. If you understand how this stitch is done, you don't need to buy a pattern for that scarf. Just understand the stitch. So yeah, and you can either use that stitch for your own design, for your own sweater, for your own maybe rectangular top like this one. Now, what about the lesson I've learned from this project? Well, in fact, this one I've learned years ago, but I'm gonna share it right now. This is pure cotton yarn. And remember, the finer the thread is, the better quality you get. Number 2 lesson from this project. I'm making a summer garment and I use a bit thicker needles. For example, for this lace yarn, I'm using super lace into 6 strands, so it gives me lace thickness, lace weight. I would use normally 2.0, 2.25, maybe 2.5 millimeter needles. But right here, I'm using 275. Why is that? And it's not even the limit. The limit is 3.0, I guess. So why is that? it's insanely thick for lace yarn. Well, it's because of the lace pattern chart. Because for stockinette stitch, I wouldn't use such thick needles. I would use maximum 2.5. But for this lace yarn, or for this lace pattern where we have a lot of holes to make the air circulate and keep your body comfortable, 2.75 is totally fine. So yeah, I have these two bobbins, these two cones. How do I create that 6 strand yarn from it? Well, let me explain. Actually, I have a full lesson on my channel, but here's the reminder. I've got 2 threads and they come from these 2 cones. And how do I have 6 strands? Well, I don't want to use that machine to weave them, so I make a slip knot and I'm gonna apply the threads as I go. Slip knot from 2 threads, and I just pull 2 from this slip knot, and I create, basically it's a huge chain. And I'm not gonna make it huge, but for the demonstrational reason I will leave it small. So I knit from 6 strands because this loop gives you 6 strands. And now when I'm done with this part, I just create another huge loop. Okay, and again it has 6 strands. The next project that is on my needles is this red textured shirt, and I think I'm gonna frog it. I mean, this is the color, this is the yarn, this is, as always, pure cotton, 2,400 meters in 100 grams. Great quality, I love it, but I'm not gonna be able to finish this project. Why is that? Because I this is what I think right now. I still love it. I still made that experiment. I used 2.0 bamboo knitting needles to kickstart this project, and I don't think I'm gonna make it, not because of the 2.0 millimeter needles, just because this color is a little bit too intense for me. This one, it looks beautiful in a cone, but it's a little bit intense on the needles. So I haven't decided if I should frog it or should I keep it for winter when we all need some extra bright colors, when everything is gray and white. So I'm thinking, should I quit this project because of the color, or should I leave it? Let me know what you think. And yeah, I need your guys' opinion. But yeah, it also was a lesson for those of us who want to make something black, for example, right? Black knit garments are so gorgeous, but are you going to be able to handle it? Black is very, very hard to knit. Like this one, it's too bright, it's a little bit hard to knit. Those amazing, very bright colors like electric colors, are you gonna be able to handle it? Or should we leave it for that season when we do need extra colors? Let's think about it. Another project that I'm working on here is this gradient sweater. I love the idea. I love how it works out. I just, to me, it looks warm. Even though it's just a cotton, it looks a little bit warm. So I would like to keep it for later. But anyway, the lesson I've learned from this one, there are actually 2 of them. Um, One is about the melange, the gradient. You see, I made this gradient here, and I love how it looks on this side. And I don't know what happened. I just wasn't keeping the count of the rows the right way, or I was lazy, or I decided that it doesn't really matter, and I decided to be creative. And here's this a little bit lighter line right here. I didn't want to frog it. and I figured out a great way how to fix it. And yes, it's a lesson, and I'm gonna share it definitely. Oh, by the way, give me your suggestions. What do you think it might be? So, how do you fix that problem when you have an extra light line, okay, on your garment? And here's a hint for you. Even though I'm knitting in a stockinette stitch, it's not a garter stitch, it's just stockinette stitch, but my right side, the one that I wear, is this purl side, which is usually considered as the wrong side, but no, I like how the gradient looks on the purl side. So purl side is my right side. And yeah, let me know what you think, how to fix it, how to get rid of this line without frogging the whole thing. And in one of the next videos, I will share my idea, what my solution is. Yeah, and the next lesson from this project, it's actually not from this project, but from a bunch of previous projects, is that if you really like some yarn, just go grab more. I mean, when you already have a sweater and you want another one from a different color, from the same yarn, from the same quality, you just know what to expect. You don't need to recalculate anything. You don't need even a gauge swatch because you already have an entire sweater as a gauge swatch. So you save tons of time on that calculation and that technology process, right? Also, if it's stock yarn, unfortunately, it might be gone. There's just a limited amount of that yarn. But, of course, I have to warn you about something here. I understand that these guys, the yarns and cones, are not for beginners. They're not for everyone. There are people who hate those yarns and cones. I have videos that explain the pros and contras of these yarns. But if you do like a yarn, and if you're buying stock yarns, stock cone yarns, and if you made something from this yarn and you like it, go get some more. This is my rule. I just can't get enough of that yellow sweater that I made from this butter yellow pure cotton. Again, 2,400 meters and 100 grams. Very, very fine, very tiny. I just cannot get enough of this color. I can't get enough of this pure cotton. And every time I have a chance to buy something of my color range that I see, that I like, that I love working with, I would just go and grab some. It is not expensive, it is affordable, but I know exactly that I'm going to use it in many other projects, like happened in this case with this butter yellow yarn. The gradient sweater, the cable sweater, this nice top for my daughter. I made it all from the same yarn. And if it was gone after just one garment, I would go and buy more because I loved this color. And if you tell me that they look the same, well, the color, yes, but the designs, they're totally different. So my rule, if I liked something, I would go and buy more to enjoy that yarn. So yeah, that's about it for today. Please let me know if it was helpful. Please let me know what you think on frogging, on new yarns. Of course, tell us what's on your needles, what's off your needles. Hope to see you soon on this channel, and bye.